everybody. 안녕하세요, 여러분. My name is Francesca. I still haven't properly introduced myself since I started my YouTube channel. As you might have guessed, if you have seen some of my previous videos, my channel is all about Korean songs covers, and I might drop some Japanese ones as well from time to time. So the reason why I'm making this video is because I want to bring some new content to my channel apart from songs covers. We all have some free time on our hands these days because of the crazy situation going on, and I hope you're staying safe, by the way. So why not use this time to develop a new skill? In my case, I really want to improve my Korean. Right now I'm not living in Korea. I lived in Korea for around 5 to 6 years, and I reached like an intermediate to advanced level. I haven't studied for a long time, but these days I got really a strong desire to pick up Korean again and really improve. My goal is to improve to really an advanced level within 1 year. And I thought if I do some YouTube videos, this might help me to, keep this commitment, but also help other people that want to learn. I think this video might be useful for Koreans as well. While I'm learning from an advanced book, so, of course Koreans already know Korean, but they might learn some English expression that they didn't know. So English is not my first language. I'll try my best. This book is in English, of course, English and Korean. So I will be working with that. If my English is not perfect at all times, please bear with me and understand that. Okay, so the way I want to go about this is that you guys will see my computer screen on your screen. You will see me somewhere on the side of your screen. We will go through the sentences together in Korean. We will see the translation that the book gives us. If I make any mistakes in the translations or in Korean, if there are any Korean viewers that understand English and want to leave their comments below and help us, why not feel free to do so. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. I think I haven't mentioned that, but I will be working with an advanced book. I already started the first chapter just to get familiar with the textbook. I think it could be categorized as an intermediate to advanced level. So you should be already capable of writing and reading Korean. But it's not too hard. I mean, the vocabulary I've seen so far was not too hard. I also have a dictionary here, so if I don't know any words, I can search them up. I wanted to start from chapter 2.6, which is actually really interesting. I went through this yesterday, so this is not completely new. But then after this point, everything that comes next will be new also for me. So yeah, we will see what happens. This grammar point is momo, ko, ma, or malda, and it means eventual development of an action. It says here. It says that this pattern, ko plus auxiliary verb, ma or malda, implies the eventual outcome of an action or series of actions, or the final development of an action. It often gets translated as ends up doing, finally does, gets around to doing, ultimately does. When the particle ya, which means only if, intervenes, this sometimes yields a new and different pattern, the translation of which comes out as simply has to, must, is, am absolutely determined to, or will definitely. So this is the example for 고야 말다. 이 숙제를 내일까지 내고야 말겠다. And it translates as I am simply determined to hand this homework in by tomorrow. So 숙제 is homework. 를, is the particle for the object. 내일까지, until tomorrow. 내고야 말겠다. So I am determined to do this by tomorrow, to hand this in for tomorrow, by tomorrow. So it says here that actually the literal translation of this would be only if, because 내고야 말다 is only if. It's by handing in this homework by tomorrow will I end the matter. I think actually this literal translation makes sense because the way I understand 말겠다 is like, 뭐뭐 하지 마라. Mara is kind of like kind of has a negative connotation, like don't do this. In the 하지 말다, 하지 마라. So 이 숙제를 내일까지 내고야. 내고야 is kind of like you must. 뭐뭐 해야. 뭐뭐 해야, like you have to do something, right? 해야 돼요. 뭐뭐 해야 돼요. So the way I just see this sentence to understand it better is that 뭐뭐 내고야 말겠다. So I have to, this homework has to be handed it tomorrow, or this is not good. 말겠다 is kind of like bang.
Have you ever had a dream that you had you do?
You know, another way of translating it, I would say, would be like 이거 안 내면 안 되겠다. If I don't submit this, it's not good. The situation is not gonna work out if I don't hand this in. But I wouldn't trust this textbook too much because not every time it would be translated as like, you know, I am determined or I must absolutely do something. Because if we see another sentence, this one here, 48, it says 나는 생선을 먹으면 언제나 배탈이 나고야 말아요. So 나는, I, 생선을 먹으면, if I eat fish, 언제나, every time, 배탈이 나고야 말아요. So in this case, a way of understanding the sentence, and I noted this down, was by putting like 무조건. 무조건 means like absolutely, right? So in the grammar description of this construction, it said that this construction means like implies the eventual outcome of an action or a series of actions. I would say when you have 야 말다, it emphasizes that like 무조건, absolutely, if you do this or if a certain situation occurs, this is the outcome, this is the final development. So if I eat fish, invariably, like it says here, every time I end up getting a stomachache. I absolutely end up getting a stomachache. So it's kind of like a reinforcement of the simple like 배탈이 나고 말아요. Like 나고야 말아요 is like even stronger. So it's a definite outcome. If you eat fish, this definitely will happen. This is the outcome. This is the result of that action.
Hi.
Okay.
Then we have 빨리 식사를 끝내고 말았지요. So here in English, the textbook translates as I finished up my meal in a hurry. But I think this sentence maybe is too simplistic because it doesn't really convey the sense of like the result of an outcome as it described in the grammar point before. So I think a way to picture this one is that so you have the process of eating, you start eating and you finish eating, and you want to finish the development of this action to get to the outcome, that is, you have finished to eat. So you quickly want to get to this result. This is what the sentence conveys. Well, of course, if you translate it, you have to translate it in a simple way. So you just like, I finished up my meal in a hurry. But if you have to translate literally, it would be like, I tried hard to come up to the end of this process of finishing to eat, right? As fast as I could. I hope it makes sense for you guys. That's the way I understand it anyways. Then we have sentence 49. 입맛을 잃어버리고 말았어요. So in English, it translates as I have completely lost my appetite. 입맛 is appetite, right? 잃어버리다 is to lose. I think this sentence is a bit incomplete. Like there must have been something before this sentence, and the reason why I say this is because the description here says that this grammar pattern implies the eventual outcome of an action, right? So the outcome is that you have lost your appetite. So it must have had something before must have happened to make you lose your appetite. So I think maybe a way to understand this sentence better would be like 너무 무서운 공포 영화를 봐서 입맛을 잃어버리고 말았어요. Since I watched a very scary horror movie, I lost my appetite, if that makes sense. So that is the outcome. You have lost your appetite because you have seen something scary, right? So you focus on this outcome. This sentence, number 50, I thought didn't really make, not that it didn't make sense, but I didn't think that it was very logical to use it. So here it says, 참, 내일이면 내가 40살이나 되고 말겠군요. So the translation here says, what do you know? I will be 40 years tomorrow. So 내일이면, tomorrow, when tomorrow comes, I will become 40, right? So if we have to follow the grammar description that the book has set for us, this sentence would focus on the outcome. So the outcome would be, having become 40. So the result of an action, what is the action? What is the outcome of what action? Of living? So the outcome of living for 40 years is to become 40 years old. Like, I don't know if you get what I mean, but it doesn't really make sense. You just say 40살이나 될 거예요, something like that. Just simple sentence. Simple is the best, right? It's just that, the textbook strives really hard to give you many sentences, but yeah, I also wouldn't really use this. Then we have sentence number 51. 그 여자가 저녁에 초대한 것을 잊어버리고 말았으니 어떻게 하죠? So what shall I do? I completely forgot that she had invited me to dinner. So 그 여자가, that woman, 저녁에 초대한 것을 잊어버리다. So 초대한 것을, that she invited me to dinner. What shall I do? 어떻게 하죠? So in this case, I think, 잊어버리고 말았으니, the outcome, the result, the situation that we have is that I have completely forgot that she has invited me. So I think by focusing on the outcome, the person here wants just to say that, this is the outcome. I have reached this outcome that I have forgotten, and I can't really go back to, I can't really undo that situation, right? Because I forgot it already. What should I do? There's nothing I can do. Then we have sentence 52, which is actually the same. 그 부부는 어제 벌써 미국으로 떠나고 말았죠. And it translates as the couple had already left for the US yesterday, you see. So 그 부부는, that couple, yesterday already left for the US. In this case also, you can just say like, 떠나버렸어요, 떠났어요. You can just simply say like that. It's not really necessary to use this construction. I think actually this construction makes more sense for the sentence of like, I get stomachache if I eat fish absolutely every time. Like, it's a given result. It makes more sense to use it for that. But, the book tries to give us different alternatives. So in this case, again, as the sentence before, by focusing on the result that they have already left, so the result of their action is that they are gone, that's the outcome, they can't really come back, so they can't undo that. That's basically what they want to say. Then we have the last part of this grammar structure, which is another pattern using ko plus auxiliary. I have trouble saying this word, sorry. Auxiliary 말다 involves two consecutive ko forms. The first can be formed from any verb, and the second always uses 말고 with the meaning of course. An example here is 알고 말고요. Of course, she knows. 알다 means to know, right? So the structure is 고. I can't just highlight that. Anyway, just 고 말고. 고 말고 plus 요, which is the polite form. So when you have 고 말고, it's something that means of course plus verb. I will tell you another way I understand this construction, but let's go through the other examples first. So yeah, anyway, here it says a sentence ends in yo if one is talking in the polite style. If you drop the yo, the sentence has the same meaning, but now is in the intimate style. Since the expression with 고 말고 are so colloquial, you are likely to hear them more often as 고 말고, like 알고 말고요. So 먹고 말고요. Of course, I'm eating. 먹다 is to eat, right? So 고 말고, of course, I'm eating. So again, I think a way of understanding this is by focusing on 말다. As I said before, 말다 has, for me at least, I don't know if I'm correct, this is just the way I think. 말다 has kind of like a negative meaning. I always think like 하지 말아요, 먹지 말아요. So 말다 is like don't do this, don't do that. It kind of like negates the what is before. So I think one way we could translate this as if I'm not eating. Of course I'm eating. That's the way I see it. If it makes sense for you, just tell me. So 오늘 학교에 갑니까? Are you going to school today? 가고 말고요. So as if I'm not going, right? So 말다 negates the verb before, like not going. So as if I'm not going, I'm going. 가다, 가고. Then 오늘 저녁에 주무시겠습니까? So are you going to bed tonight? Are you gonna sleep tonight? 자고 말고요. So it's kind of like it's obvious, like as if I'm not sleeping. Of course I'm sleeping. Then 크고 좋습니까? Is it nice and big? 크고 좋고 말고요. Of course it is. As if it's not big and nice, right? Then the last part. 중요한 규칙은 가르치고 말고요. Of course, they teach the important rules. So 규칙 is rules. 중요한 is important, right? So 중요한 규칙은, so important rules, 가르치고 말고요, as if they are not teaching. I mean, here it translates as they, but it could be like, I, you, she, he, we don't know. Because in Korean, there's no like specific subject unless you specify that. You say like 그녀는, 나는, whatever. So yeah, I think that's enough for this lesson. It was quite a lot to unpack in just one lesson. It's the first time for me, so I'm still a bit shy in front of the camera. I hope you guys understand. So if you guys like this series, I can do more of these type of videos. Anyway, I would be studying anyway, so why not study together, right? And learn together, and we can create a community where we can share questions and answers. Possibly we can also get help from Koreans. If you guys liked, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. I will be releasing a cover hopefully on Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm practicing very hard, so we will see what happens with that. And yeah, keep supporting me. Hope to see you soon. Bye!